Okay, back again. Wires obviously disconnected. That tubes come off of there quite easily. On the ones with the plastic boxes, they usually stick. And I've got a tool that's for doing like radiator hoses on a car. They're really quite handy. You just get it in underneath the tube and run it round. It breaks the seal, stretches it a bit. Anyway, I'm just trying this out. Got this new spanner. It's got a ratcheting end on there because these are always a pain to do, and it's actually working quite well. So there's not enough room usually to get a ratchet-headed spanner in there, or even a ratchet in the socket's too close. So that's going to make this a bit easier. Yeah, these are always fun to change because the paddle screws on and they get stuck on there. Anyway, what I've taken to doing is putting a strap, if the gears are still okay, putting a strap around the cooling fan so the motor can't turn, and then that way the shaft can't turn. Then a chain wrench on the paddle. On this one I had to get another chain wrench around the motor because I couldn't physically hold the motor, so you get a bit more leverage. Anyway, that's got that. It did move, there we go. It's got that loose. So before we unscrew it all the way, we'll put this one back on there. So when it's undone, it can't drop into the tank. Because the last thing you want to do is drop the paddle in there, especially when it's full of milk. And then we were lucky we had a beam to tie that up to, because normally you end up just balancing it on a block of wood to take the weight off. Okay, that's the old one. And they should have a little O-ring. Well, the later ones used to come fitted with an O-ring there to seal the paddle to the gearbox, because otherwise this basically your pressurised water bottle is coming down this hole, and it can go up the threads and just leak a little bit around here. So ideally you want to put an O-ring on there. Some of them used to have PTFE tape around the threads, but if you get a pattern part one, they don't always have an O-ring on there, so it's worth putting something on there. I usually put a bit of food grease around here so they don't stick, and some in the threads because they're only aluminium. Anyway, yep. Okay, we'll probably give that a bit of a clean up. It's got some of the grease has come out of the old gearbox. Yeah, there's no O-ring in there. You can see it's got a bit of a chamfer at the top where the O-ring can sit. And you just screw it on there hand tight. You don't need to tighten it because as it's turning, it tightens itself up. As long as you wire the motor the right way. If you wire it the wrong way, it'll unscrew. So when you try it, you want to turn it on and look in there quick. If it's going the wrong way, turn it off before the paddle falls off. Which I learnt that one the hard way. That's that food grease I've got. Just put a little squirt of that on there. Yeah, okay, we've got that cleaned up. And we'll clean all the grease off of those. So we just want to put a little bit of food grease on those threads and in these screw holes. Put it back on there, and then we'll give that a wipe. And then we've got to wire it. We've got to turn the wash box around because it's pointing the wrong way. Okay, that's screwed on there. Right, got 3 of the bolts started. I got the first one in fairly easily. That one was a bit of a struggle, and this one I couldn't get it to go. In the end, I've took the bolt out and run it through a die nut just to clean the threads up. This one's the same. They're just a bit chewed up on the end, so it won't start. I've seen some of them actually, they're easier where they come with a stud and a nut, because once you've got the studs on there you just drop them through and you can wind the nuts on the bottom. I might get some just to put them in stock for the future. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, just yeah, it's great. It's just you get two hands on there, but it's just a bit sort of chewed up. Okay, I'll take that back off again. Turns out that bolt's bent. Which is why it weren't going in. It was, you know, wobbling about as you're trying to do it up. So got to get a tap in there and clean that thread up. Yeah, just put a little slight burr on it. I think we'll do all of them. Some of these, it's almost like they haven't quite drilled the holes in the right place. I find they can always be a bit of a struggle. You might find they'll fit that way, but not that way. Anyway. Okay, run a tap down each of those. It's also cleaned out quite a bit of black paint, so having paint in the threads wouldn't have helped. I think we'll try all the bolts in there. I might lift that plate off and try it. Might have to. I have had them where they don't quite line up when you put them on a certain way. Okay, try again. Yeah, see, I've got these two bolts in fine. That one's gone in really tight, and that one won't go in at all properly now. I think we'll just see if we can. These are 6mm. I think I've got a 1/4" drill bit. I might just widen these holes slightly. So I don't think that helps. So that kind of pushes the bolts out of line. See, that's loose now. So those holes aren't quite in the right place. And then the other thing, because it goes through that rubber sheet, that kind of puts it, if the holes aren't square in there, that'll put a bit of a lean on the screw as you're trying to do it up. Yeah, we just clean those threads, holes up a bit, I think. Okay. We've just gone out from 6mm to a 1/4", which is, what's it called? 6.3mm, 6.25, I think. So just a little bit of clearance there, so that's got a bit of movement now. And they're all, you can do them all up. So, try again. Okay, I can do that with my fingers now. That's that. Not tight at all, so yeah. That one, the only bolt we had long enough was an Allen headed bolt. I thought we'd be able to get that done up and then get I've got a, I think it's 5mm. I might even have a 5mm Allen key I've cut down. Right. Okay, got that bolted on there. I've cut down an Allen key so I could get in there to do that up. Just got to rotate this round. And make sure that O-ring stays in place. And that tube's got to go on there. And then that wire. Should have checked before I fitted it, but the this cable was quite thick, sort of rubberized, rather than like a PVC cable, and it wouldn't fit through the cable gland that comes with the motor. So I've got to drill it out, and the factory ones is on the side, but these come in the bottom. So rather than take it off again, I've got an angle drill with a step bit. But that's something to check before you fit them. Okay, so that's on there, bolted on there, that's tight. Cable's in there tight, and then phase in the bottom, live in the bottom, neutral, and your two thermistor wires at the top. Some of these, if you get pattern part motors, some of them don't have those in, so if they don't, you just have to link these two together, else it won't, it'll bring a fault light on. Yeah, earth in there. So we get a clamp meter on there, and then we'll see if it goes around the right way, which it should do. Some of the other ones have 3 motor terminals, and you can, if your neutral stays in the middle, if you put the live on the bottom, it'll go, say, clockwise, and if you put it on the top one, it'll go anti-clockwise. So those ones you have to be careful they go the right way. That's the front one, probably can't see the one at the back. Okay, put in 0.54, it says maximum I think is 7, I don't tell like 6.4, I think that's 50 Hertz, I can't see.